So when we look at this case here, you can see, let's suppose that our initial plan was set up to end here at 19. So that's what the aligners were programmed to do. If you look on the computer, that's what your setup looks like. But when the patient gets in, let's just say that this is what their teeth look like. And you know, traditionally I would say, oh, well, these teeth didn't track. I'm going to rescan and start over. But the aligners are still fitting on the teeth and the patient is still compliant. So I don't need to start over. So capture in your minds what this looks like. So we're simulating, ignore the stage 25, just know that that is what the patient's teeth look like. I'm simulating that the aligners were set up to stage 19, but when the patient came back in, their teeth actually looked like they do here at stage 25. And so if that were the case, and the aligners were set up correctly, but when the patient came in, their teeth didn't look like the setup, well, what that is telling you is that you need to add force. So up in the left box here, you can see this is a screenshot of a simulation of what the patient's teeth actually look like. And now we're back to the setup here of what we actually set the teeth up to look like. Okay, so you can see here that we are shy on space. Those teeth are overlapping. There is not enough space there to be made. What is the easiest way to make space? All right, with braces, we might use an open coil spring. And with aligners, we're going to do the same thing. Now, if this looks crazy to you, that's okay. Go back and watch the webinars, and we set up the foundation of why this works. But essentially, you can see I'm going to take all of those teeth and just distalize them. And as I do that, what's happening is the arch length of the aligner is increasing in the area where I need the space. Now, I know on the screen it looks funny. It looks like, oh, all those posterior teeth are distalizing. But if you place an open coil spring in between a central incisor with braces, would you expect all the posterior teeth to distalize? I don't think that you would. Or if you did, maybe to a very, very small degree. So all I'm doing is the same type of mechanics with aligners that I would do with braces. I need space in the anterior, so I'm going to select all the teeth distal to that, and I'm going to move them distally. You can see here, now I'm increasing the force to overcorrect what didn't play out in the initial aligner force system. So you can see here that in the mouth, the upper right one was mesiofacial distal lingual. So in this chairside refinement, we're going to see that the upper right one is now mesiolingual distal facial. We're overcorrecting that rotation and we're creating a little bit of space. We're essentially continuing to place force on these teeth and we're continuing to make progress on the case via a chairside refinement. There's no new refinement scan. This happens when I go over to the chair, and we actually train the assistants on how to start this process before I even get there. So they will look at the patient's teeth. They will see where the patient's teeth are. They will look at the setup and where the teeth were supposed to be. And then they will duplicate the plan here so that they're working off of a copy, and they'll start to make the movements. And then I'll come over and check those movements, make additional movements. Then we'll go ahead and order these additional aligners. Currently, we ship them to our office. They arrive in 2 weeks. The patient comes and picks them up, and they wear their chairside refinement aligners. Once they've worn, in this case, 20, 21, 22, then we're going to see them back when they're on 22, and we're going to look again. If we need to add more forces, we're going to add a keyframe, and we're going to add those additional forces. If we are good and the teeth look great, then we're going to set them up to debond the attachments and move on to post-debond settling aligners.